Hello and welcome to the first episode of Tired of the Crud Auto Repair. My name is Bob, and today we are going to be changing the transmission pan gasket. Taking up the transmission pan, changing out the gasket, and removing the filter and replacing it with a new one. I'm going to show you how to do all that. First things first, we have the emergency brake on. We have the driver's side jacked up a little bit. We have a wheel chuck on the driver's side front tire, and we have a wheel chuck on the driver's side rear tire. First things first, I had already made a mistake when I assumed that my filter, my pan, was a 18. I did not check it. I just assumed that it was, and it wasn't. So I had to walk back to the auto parts store and fix that. So whenever you go to do this job, just be sure that you take the time to look up under your car, even if it is dirty, to make sure that you count the bolts on your pan. I don't know if that angle is exactly perfect, but it's going to have to do for our purposes today. I was thinking about using a tripod for this, and then it dawned on me that a tripod is just going to elevate this camera, and I actually need to get it low. So, what we need is a 10mm, we need a 10mm socket wrench. So we're going to start by removing these 15 nuts right here. It's not hard, really. So you just keep going around. You keep going around all around your pan, loosening up these nuts. And I want to give a shout out to some of the guys that I served with when I was in the military. A guy who was a mechanic in the motor pool that I worked at, his name was Specialist Owen. He was a really good friend of mine who had a good influence on me and helped me to learn stuff about trucks. Specialist Kleinschmidt, who was the best soldier I was ever around. Well, no, he was one of the best. Good friend. And then there was Specialist Folletti, who was the best leader that I was around. And then there was Flansburgh, who was the most ambitious guy I was ever around. Flansburgh was a big, bulky, tough guy who was always looking for the next promotion. Very hard worker.
film a video here, and he never took their name out when he weed-whacked it. Stupid, man. He never does anything like that.
So anyhow, you keep loosening these bolts. And the gasket here comes off after you take off the pan. Here's the important thing to remember. This is for a 98 to 02 Toyota Corolla. You do not add sealant to this. All you do is you take it off and you put it back on again. You notice how they're not really tight? I'm not a particularly strong forearm person, but these are not really on there very tight at all. They were very loose. They were very manageable. So the thing we need to note while we're looking on this, these bolts are not on here tight, and when you get the transmission pan off of here, obviously I already drained it. I took the drain plug out first with a hex that fits that hex socket. That's all you gotta do. And if you want to make the job easy for you, then man, use your brain and use a breaker bar. Go over to Lowe's or Home Depot, and it's like $5 for a cast iron metal tube that's hollow in the middle, and put that thing over the end of your ratchet handle and hold the ratchet on the plug with one hand and pull on the breaker bar with the other hand, and it'll loosen up like Specialist Owens used to say all the time. Lefty loosey, righty tighty. So make sure that you have the right type gasket. I didn't know. I was assuming. I thought it was the 18 and it was a 15. So I said, okay, the video is going to have to wait a few minutes. So I had to go across the street and exchange the 18 hole filter for